everybody from Quebec City. A few minutes ago I was just watching Netflix, something mindless to keep my mind off my own imagination, if you know what I mean. My imagination is huge, as I've already told you, and I see the whole picture, and it's extremely difficult to articulate it to a person who's just jumping in now. So I find it really hard to repeat myself all the time too, because I want to move on, you know what I mean? Like, I want to tell you what we've got to do, and to help you cope with the trauma that's about to hit, which I've already walked through it all, and seen it all, and I know where it comes from in the big picture realm. I am not able to relate to anyone who was raised in a religion like me. I wouldn't have been able to relate with me before I became conscious of Christ. And again, what is Christ? Christ is our soul. It's everybody, and that's what Jesus said. No matter what those verses say or how you twist the words, he said what he is, we all are. We are the image of God. God is love. I do not believe those verses about our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, for a minute, but I'm hearing very intelligent conversations going on that almost have me convinced again. Because I don't know the details. I only know the big picture. And I only know in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, the story, the true story of Mary and Jesus. And I know I sound crackers. Don't you think I know that? It was impossible to tell anyone until this year. I've hinted at it, but it's like when I was told about the acts against my son with my husband, his stepfather. It's like I couldn't see at all. You can't see here, guys, because we're not in our emotions. Emotions is the first sense. And I do repeat myself on that one because it is so critical. What these philosophers have done, this lie, this ongoing satanic lie about everything, has just, it's ruined the entire message of Jesus. And I have the entire message of Jesus in my heart. And I want to talk about it. But people get caught up in semantics, you know, and they want to believe something different. The only reason why I know the intentions of Jesus is because I knew the intentions of my son before I destroyed him by sending him to daycare so I could go to school and work. I destroyed my child. We put our children to sleep when we neglect them from love and put them in fear. I remembered this morning when there's so many horrific things about my ex-husband that I have now that I carry with me in my heart because I was told by beings of light and my deceased son the whole story. And those details I do know because I was there. And I saw, but I didn't. My heart cried, but I couldn't do anything. He wouldn't admit it. He refused to admit it. They all do. And the lies run so deep. You can convince yourself of what you want to believe, and that's our problem here. It's about wanting to believe in Santa Claus. You want to, of course. It's a very nice fantasy. You want to believe in what you believe. Admit it. You want to. That's what I want. I want to believe what I believe. That the story of Jesus and Mary is in me, and it's proven through my own journey this time. As ridiculous as it would have been, I couldn't have seen this. Jesus said our children are Lord, and that I can't find in the Bible. I'm sure somebody can tell me if it's there. I don't know. That there are porcelain, and we don't neglect them, and we don't give them images in the imagination that defy love. It's hard to hear from a woman. It's almost impossible for men to hear me. Really, it's alpha generation, and the left brain is in complete control. And the left brain is our artificial brain, our simulated brain that we live in, that we have a right to. My son told me that when he was 13. It's like the game Simulated City. But beliefs can change your role. You can convince a child to sterilize themselves to save the planet. You convince man of anything, because the ego doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. But the spirit does. Your spirit knows all. It's starting to peep through in some people. I noticed some genius men out there today. Genius men. What's his name? I'm going to get you his name. Because I'm not selfish and I'm not competitive. If somebody's got a good bloody message out there, I make sure people know about it. You know, I share. I share all. My name is Share All. And he's quite Christ conscious, that's for sure. I hope I can find it here. That's what I want to do, though. I know Jesus, the intentions of Jesus was to empower, not depower. That's what he was here to debunk Moses. So what the heck Judeo-Christianity is, I haven't got a clue. It just doesn't exist. Like, the religions are so retarded now, they're getting their stories mixed up. They're all based in the same Garden of Eden, which started with the Jews' education. Honestly, I don't know anything about the culture or race or whatever that is all about. I really don't know. Other than things happen through rape. Bad things happen through rape. It came to me, we should not be transferring blood around. And that's all they're doing. But you got to remember this is the artificial life, right? It's not our permanent eternal life. This is the left brain life, without your mother, without your soulmate, without your creator. This is what you got. I wrote a poem, a new prayer. I'll find that too in a minute. I wrote it right out before I was aware of my association with the spirit of Mary's, Bloody Mary and Queen Mary. They're all Bloody Mary because they all got their heads chopped off, which you don't know about. That's a detail you can check though. I've got lots of details you can check. It's just not. It's blacked out in the Bible, isn't it? Just didn't see that anywhere. They made it sound in Ephesus, Turkey, when I was there, that she was on a vacation in exile. My spirit said, "Oh no, you son of a bitch." And I saw the place where they put the heads of women when they were enslaving them at that time to man. And she became property, and that was it. She was property until 1920. You can check that too. And then she got equality, didn't she? I can't find him for some reason. Maybe I'm not supposed to. Yeah, I'm going to skip that and I'm just going to go to my prayer. Hopefully I can find it. Sorry, I'm not very professional at all. I don't know how to stream. I need a left brain. See, I live on the right brain. This is what the right brain's all about. Crazy airhead, eh? That's what you think, you left-brainers. Don't you know all that shit you know is dying? Didn't Jesus say something about that too? I don't know. Check it out. Imagination is the manifester. I know you've got to have that, right? Good Lord, but you just don't feel it, you know? You don't feel it. And the feelings are what is missing. Yeah, because you gave up your mother. Gave up your soulmate. The fantasies are great, you know, it works for men. It works in a sexual impulse way. But it's replaced love, period. And it's not acceptable in the eyes of God. Love. I really have to calm my rage down, but I gotta tell you, I think Jesus was in rage too. So I really do forgive myself for that. Actually, there's never anything to forgive, guys, you know. You just have to know. And as soon as you know, your conscience stabs you in the heart. As soon as I knew about what had happened to my son, I could see the look in his eye. I remember the time I woke up in the middle of the night, just so much intuition, but I got up and I checked his room. He's fine. And Gary's right there. What's going on in my head? So if it's fine right then I was able to put it away. But there were so many clues, and the camping trips that Trevor never wanted to go on, and being a Boy Scout and Beaver, and so all the signs were there. Come on, I was a counselor and I talked about all the signs. And it's right under your nose. That's what I mean. If your feelings are gone, you don't really see. you talk away your, if you talk it away, because you don't want to believe in that. That's not good for my feelings. I don't want to have feelings. You have to. You want to have them now. Trust me, you want to have them now. Because then you will see all. And you will freak out. But you will see all while you're alive. People got so offended by this prayer that I didn't use it. Very much. You know, I have to back down because I have feelings. I just don't like to push myself on people, you know? Until they attack me. If you attack me, I am so sorry, but you're going to get stabbed in the soul by me. With words. I am really good like that. Ask my mother. Stabbed her in the heart with my words. She's my twin flame, by the way. I wrote the book Evil Eyes, and it's funny. I don't get any money for that book, by the way, at all. I don't know who gets it, but it's at Amazon, and I don't get a dime. You know my address. But I'm ripped off at every turn of my life. Every single turn I am ripped off by man. Have I got a story for you? It's hard to share my love when you're projecting, and I want to talk about judgment. Maybe look that one up in Jesus' name. Judgment, what does it do and why don't you judge? You want to know? It blocks your beams in your eyes. You can no longer feel them, who you are judging. You will paint an image of them, and that is what you see. And that is who you know, that judgment. But it comes without feeling, meaning it's not deep. And so you become unrecognizable. I am unrecognizable to my family, completely. They got shit all over me. And an empath can feel judgment. And they know when there is contempt. Because they're feelings, and an empath feels. But maybe they don't know how to decipher those feelings. The people's feelings here are mixed up because nobody talks about emotional intelligence here. It doesn't exist. It's on the right brain. But that's our eternity. That's our creator. That's our hope. That's our hope, my friends. So I don't care if you believe in my story or not. It doesn't really matter. Everybody's in some kind of fantasy, isn't it? And I could be all wrong. I admitted that from the beginning. It's just that my story lines up, and it's a very compelling way of me getting a very serious message out. My story, I've never said, was important. What is important is Christ consciousness come now. And it will not be, okay, say it is. Jesus is here. Hello, it's my son. He's around here all the time, flying around in orbs, giving me spiritual messages. You gonna believe me? No. Not a fucking soul. Because they can't see how somebody here can be so close, how a meek person like me, mental case, a homeless person nobody wanted, how could that ugly thing be? Of course you wouldn't believe in me. I don't have compelling jewelry or a cunt for you. This was me at 48 after I left my ex. Eat your heart out. Yeah, I was still a slave. You have to free yourself. I can teach you that. You have to free yourself. I gotta admit, though, I have an advantage. I have a deceased son and beings of light who fill me. So, and I still have my thread. I have my mother. I have my father. You know, I was thinking about my father. He's kind of in a distance. Kind of. I want to try and articulate this. I told you my father and my son are twin flames. They were exact same spirit. When you strip that ego away and you see them, you know. You know. And when people see their stories, it's the same story. And they were there to support one another, but I got in the way, of course. And when they were in prison together in Chilliwack, I said I felt like a piece of meat in a sandwich of these assholes in prison together. I was so humiliated. My son was there and my dad was there. I didn't know what to do. I had a hell of a life. But they were twin flames, and that's how they ended up there. And that's part of my story, to prove kind of sort of in a way all can be checked. So every bit of my story can be checked. You know, I don't lie. That's the bottom line. I don't lie. Live in the right brain. Only the left brains have to lie. When you don't live in the truth, you gotta lie. So you gotta count on somebody else's lie and believe in that, because it feels better. So we had the calm, the storm's coming. You know, I just don't know what to say, because I'm so angry, really. It's not for me to forgive. Anger is a good emotion. Underneath all anger is hurt. That's the root. We're going down to the root. Hurt is sorrow, and sorrow is the seed of love. So to get your emotions straight, anger is okay. But then you got to investigate where that sorrow and hurt is coming from. Just know that that's the root, so go straight there. Don't even think about it. All right, I'm angry. Where's my hurt? Where's my sorrow? Just do that. Help yourself. I believe in you. We only atone to ourselves, our conscience. That's who we atone to, guys. Nobody's gonna punish you. No, there's no hell or stories that you've heard. You're taking your fantasies and your imagination about your people with you. But when you're on the other side, you are back in spirit, which is your right brain. That can't die. It lives in your pupils. Those little lights recording your lives in your imaginations. Nothing's hidden from you. And your conscience is alive then. Like mine came. And it puts you into PTSD, if you want the word for it here. It's a very good word for it. And you're paranoid for a very good reason. I'm chain smoking, and I really, I really don't care. And that's my answer. If anybody wants to ask, well, why do you make stop coughing? You have not known my story then. So I really don't answer to that. We all can heal. We can heal ourselves. I think God gave some sort of disease piece of junk. I guess I came to talk in your language. I was raised by you. I work with you, I see you. Like, this is how I am because you are. We all mimic what we are, right? But the thing is, are you aware of your spirit? Well, you can monitor yourself and see what your spirit's doing. Because I say there's two worlds going on. And a lot of people are working in spirit and don't even realize it. Don't have the words for it. Or don't know how to articulate it. But yes, spirits are real, and so are, what do you think? The Bible just gave it to a few men back in the old days. Like, the stories are so ridiculous. It's time for us to grow up. But they're creating people to act like children. And no, our children can act like children and be children fearlessly and discover with love. But they can't when they're smothered with fear. Can't go anywhere, and I'm not going anywhere. And so it's up to you where you want to go with this. It's your future. It's like people don't think they're involved in the past, in the present, and the future. And I don't know, what do they think? They're just going to die and go to heaven? And then what? What happens down here? Our Father who art in heaven. That's heart. That's heart. Heaven is heart. So if our Father who art in heaven, then our Father who art in her Creator. I imagine. That's the way I could see it. I can't see it any other way, because you're excluding her in every way. You're excluding your right brain. Remember, you got a right brain too. She created him. I've always felt that Mary created Jesus. I don't know what that means. I really don't. I gotta feel deeper. But I've had the dreams of where I chose this life in the body of Cheryl Ann Grosclose. And my father and my son and my mother all involved. And my grandmother, the queen up there in Norway there, my grandmother, my God bless her soul. She told me today that I have 100 years. Just like she had. And no, I can't die. I am protected. I've had so many health issues and it weakens me, yes, and I just feel lethargic, and that's okay. I'm very comfortable. And I've had a concrete angel take care of me. But I'll live to 100 years. We're entitled to 100 years. And I got a lot of time. Unless I don't have company. You know, like what has happened to humanity and the artificial intelligence is blowing up. It's blowing up. So what will you have? What will you be in your right brain again? You will be like a child. A completely lost, afraid child. Or go straight into a zombie trance. And that's a spiritual thing. I went through it. A zombie trance. From British Columbia to Quebec City. And this home was meant for me, built for me, protected me all along. I've had my ups and downs in Quebec, and every time I'm fine. The moon is where I can stare right out my window. The Polaris star I haven't seen in a while. Usually they're together from my window. Maybe it's the wrong time of year, I don't know, but it seems to me a long time. I didn't know anything about stars, moons, suns, but I'm pretty darn sure we're all stars. And my fear is for you, that your eyes will deceive you until it's too late. You must see with your feelings and trust them. Bring your emotion back. Now, what are you going to do with them? Nothing? It depends on your conscience and what you can tolerate yourself doing, I guess. Because none of us are murderers. Like they want us to think that we're all a bunch of animals, that when we don't have law. But you know, the truth is, Jesus said we have conscience. You know? And that's the atonement for every soul. Because it comes back no matter what, your right brain. You can't live without it. So, if I sound snarky or enraged or sarcastic, I don't like that. I hate that when it comes out of me. But I know where it came from. It was shit put on me. I just put it right back out there. Otherwise, I'm a really nice person. Okay, I think that's all for tonight. We have a storm, but it's supposed to be like a quarter hail. And I'm Montreal has lost power. Looks like I'm okay.